So today I have swatches of the China Glaze Street Regal collection for fall 2017. There are 12 polishes here. I found these on sparklecanada.com and I'll get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Throne in Shade, and this is a sandy nude. So here is one coat. This one is actually really opaque on the first coat. I have a couple of dark spots where it's not perfectly even, so it is going to need a second, but it's very close to a one coater. The formula on this is great. I am having to dip my brush back into the bottle quite a bit to combat a lot of polish dripping down the stem of the brush. But if you make a point when you re-dip back into the bottle to only put the end of the brush in the polish, that shouldn't be an issue after the first nail. So here is two coats, and this one does cover completely in two. It was really close to covering in one. I do feel like this dries a little bit darker than it applies. So that is two coats of Throne in Shade. The next polish is called Street Style Princess, and this is a light gray. So here is one coat. So this one is a little bit streaky on that first coat. It does have some light spots I want to cover up. Good formula on this one. I do feel like it wants to run down the sides of the nail a little bit. And you do have to watch that polish dripping down the stem of the brush as well. So here is two coats. I had way too much polish on my brush there. And this one does cover completely in two. This is another one that I also feel dries a little bit darker than it applies. So that is two coats of Street Style Princess. The next polish is called Accent Piece, and this is actually kind of difficult to describe. This is kind of a yellowy orange with a gold shimmer. So here is one coat. This one also covers really well on that first coat. When I first swatched this, I was expecting it to be pretty sheer, and I'm really surprised at how opaque it is. It's not completely opaque in one coat. It's definitely going to need two. There's a little bit of nail line showing. There are some streaks. But it does cover a lot better than I was expecting it to. Good formula on this one as well. So here is two coats. This covers completely in two, and this looks so much better on the nails than I thought it would look when I just looked at it in the bottle. It's a very, very fall looking color. So that is two coats of Accent Piece. The next polish is called Truth is Gold, and this is a gold metallic. It's not an extremely yellow gold. I wouldn't call it a rose gold either, but it's definitely leaning in that rosy direction. So here is one coat. So this one nearly covers completely in one coat. It's not quite there. I just have a couple of bald spots, but they're very minimal. I think you could probably get away with this in one coat if you really wanted to. There are quite a bit of brush strokes through this when it's wet, so I'll have to see if those go away when it dries, because I don't have my pictures in front of me and I honestly don't remember. Good formula on this one as well. So looking at this after it's dried, I actually don't think I'm going to do the second coat. I can't really pick out any of those bald spots that I had on the first coat. The brush strokes did go away pretty significantly. I didn't do the best job painting them straight, so you can still make them out on a couple of nails. I think if you're very, very careful, you can probably get them down to very, very minimal brush strokes. But I definitely don't think I need to add the second coat to this one. So that is one coat of Truth is Gold. The next polish is called Dawn of a New Reign, and this is a deeper purple cream. So here is one coat. And this one is easily completely opaque in one coat. I'm not even sure I could make it streaky or to have any bald spots if I tried. Great formula on this one as well. So that is one coat of Dawn of a New Reign. So the next polish is called Glamcore, I think. Mine didn't have a label on it when it came, and I looked it up, and one website told me Glamour, and another website is saying Glamcore, and I think I like Glamcore better, so I'm going to go with that one. And this is kind of a blackened purpley base with a lighter purple shimmer. So here is one coat. So this is another one that's completely opaque in one coat. I can see you needing two with this one. Depending on your application, you might end up with a few light spots. Great formula on this. I'm not sure how well the shimmer is going to pick up on camera, but it's nice and obvious in person. And I have a few brush strokes through the shimmer, but I don't think that's going to be a huge issue. So that is one coat of Glamcore. The next polish is called Haute Heavy, and this is a shimmery gunmetal color. So here is one coat. This is another one that covers completely for me in one coat. I do think depending on your application, if your coats are a little bit thinner, you might have some light spots towards the end of your nails. But for me, this is covering in one, and great formula on this one as well. So that is one coat of Haute Heavy. The next polish is called N Royale, and this is a kind of brick red cream. So here is one coat. This one is a little bit lighter than I think it should be and has a few streaks, so it's going to need two coats. It's also another one that you really have to watch that drip coming down the stem of the brush. Good formula on this one. So here is two coats, and that second coat does deepen the color quite a bit. Covers up any of those streaks that I had, and this also dries very shiny. So that is two coats of N Royale. The next polish is called Royal Pain in the Ascot, and this is a shimmery garnet color. So here is one coat. So this one is very close to being a one coater for me, but it's not quite there. I have a couple of light spots. I do think, depending on your application, you might be able to get this opaque in one though, especially after it's been used a couple of times. And a great formula on this. So here is two coats. So two coats does cover completely on this one. Like I said, it was really close to covering in one. I do feel like once it dries down, that red shimmer stands out quite a bit more and it becomes a little bit brighter. And I don't have any issues with brush strokes really through that shimmer either. So that is two coats of Royal Pain in the Ascot. The next polish is called Baroque Jungle, and this is a darker teal color with a goldish green shimmer. From one angle it looks green to me, and the next angle it looks gold. So here is one coat. So this one is really close to covering in one coat, but not quite there. I do have a few light spots. Great formula on this one though. You do have to watch that drip down the stem of the brush. So here is two coats. And this one does cover completely in two. And looking at that shimmer on the nail, it's definitely green. Not really sure where I was getting gold from, but it doesn't look gold at all once it's on my nails. So that is two coats of Baroque Jungle. The next polish is called Born to Rule, and this is a really nice looking royal blue. So here is one coat. So this one is a bit sheer on the first coat. It's a little bit more of like a jelly consistency. So it is going to need two. You really have to watch that drip down the stem. The formula on this one is a little bit thin. It is a little bit more difficult to control than the other ones. It doesn't seem to want to run down the sides of the nail at all. The brush just wants to slip around a lot. So here is two coats. And this color really builds up nicely on that second coat. It does have that bit of a funky smell that blue polishes can get. And I do feel like it's showing just a little bit brighter on camera than it is in person. So that is two coats of Born to Rule. And the last polish is called Just a Little Embellishment, and this is a teal shade. This is one of those extremely fast drying, have to know that it's matte before you go into it matte shades. You do have to be really careful with these. You have to work really quickly, and you can't work too much or you will get major ridges and the finish will be really messed up. So here is one coat. And I am trying to move very quickly with this. It looks right now that it's covered completely in one coat, but if I have any ridges, I'm going to have to go back and do a second to try to cover those up. This applies really well, but like I said, it does dry extremely fast, so you have to be really careful with it. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry and then assess whether I have any bald spots or ridges that I need to cover up. So now that this is completely dry, I do have, first of all, I totally missed like I always kind of stray away from the sides of my nail, but I missed like a lot of the side of my nail on my pointer finger, so I tried to like dab it in with a toothpick rather than do a whole second coat, and that didn't work. It actually worked better, I think, than trying to just throw the brush over there. But now that it's dry, I can see a little bit of a light spot, mainly just on my pointer finger, but I'm gonna try to do a second coat and see if I can get this evened out. So here is 2 coats. I don't really feel like I need this on all the nails, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. Obviously, this dries fully matte. If you don't like that finish, you will want a top coat, but I definitely think you'd be better off just getting a similar color not in this finish and save yourself the stress. Though if you did add a top coat, like if you got a lot of ridges and just put a regular top coat over it, it would help fill those in quite a bit. So that is 2 coats of just a little embellishment. So my favorite out of this collection was a bit of a surprise to me, especially since I just did the OPI Iceland collection as well, and I loved it because it was so blue heavy and specifically not red heavy. But N Royale is my favorite out of this collection. It's a red, but it's a darker brick red. It's a little bit different shade of red than I'm used to seeing in collections. It's good for the fall, and I like it. Because as much as we see reds in fall and holiday collections, I feel like we don't see brick reds that often. Maybe we do and they just don't stand out to me as much as this one did, but it is my favorite. So that is the China Glaze Street Regal collection for fall 2017. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.